It was just complete chaos.
They try to hide a little problem, and then the avalanche comes.
It financially affected a lot of people.
I think we got scammed.
Oh my God, this could not get any worse.
Hey lovers, it's Paige, founder of Love on Demand. Today, I'm taking another deep dive and I'm taking a look at the event space. Events are where I truly found my space. I went to my first event almost 10 years ago. 3,000 women, 200 authors, thousands of attendees, book vendors, cosplay, book cover models, parties, panels.
Shut up and take my money.
And I really found my people. There was all these women with no agenda and no ego and no what are you wearing, just what are you reading? And it was magic. I love the event space. It's unbelievable how many people are craving that IRL experience, including myself. So now that there's all of these events happening, they've gone from 3 or 4 a year to now so many hundreds of events, it is inevitable things are gonna go wrong. One event in particular, A Million Lives, took place in Baltimore, May of 2025. It definitely caught my eye. It went viral on BookTok, Bookstagram, really upset about it. So I spoke to several attendees and industry friends that were at A Million Lives or participated with it. The first one is Selena. She has a bookstore called The Midnight Owl, and she was approached by the organizer to run the bookstore for the event. And her experience was really interesting.
So it was about, I'd say 4 or 5 weeks before the actual event. She had said, hey, I'm gonna pay for the books, you're gonna sell them. And I'm like, perfect, we're gonna split profit. And then she pushed and she was like, no, you're gonna keep all the money from the book sales as like a thank you for doing this last minute. And then she said that she was gonna pay me $2,000 to kind of work the show. And she offered to pay for my hotel. This is an incredible opportunity, I have to do it. And then it came time to her actually paying me and she was like, oh, my identity was stolen. And I'm like, oh my God, that's terrifying. Totally get it. Then she was like, someone hacked my bank account and all of the AML money is gone. And I was like, wait, all of the money? And she's like, all of the money. 5 days before the event, I was like, Grace, did you order the books? Totally understand everything that, has supposedly happened, but I don't want to take the heat and be like, no, we don't have any books to sign. And she's like, no, don't worry.
Selena did have some reason to trust Grace going into this. I mean, Grace did run a successful event the year before. So why wouldn't Selena trust her? Of course.
You were the chosen one.
But I have to think she was kind of freaking out as the days were closing in here. So a lot of these events now, they're having tattoos, which, hello, I like. And so now that they're inviting all these tattoo artists, there's one reader, her name is Elva Stephanie, tattoo artist that was solicited to come and cover this event and do tattoos at the event. Elva noticed some red flags early on. If you know the book world from yesteryear, all of the events have a huge presence on Facebook. You have an event page, it's a closed page. Elva started to see some red flags because the Facebook room seemed a little bit low in terms of attendees and a little bit dead in terms of posting. That is red flag number 1.
I would have to say it was probably around November, December, and that was mainly my assistant noticing that on Facebook, there wasn't much posting happening. Any event page you go to, there's typically people talking, conversing, hyping up the event as well as the authors. So it was just it was weird.
Here's the thing. A lot of attendees at events, they have requests of the organizer, whether it's a table, whether it's safety precautions for the tattoo artist. Obviously, Elva needed particular things just for sanitary reasons, safety reasons.
My bare minimum for events is typically at least 2 of my sides need to have some sort of barrier or walls. And then the other requirement is electricity. And then the rest is typically handled by the building. So some sort of red biohazard waste container, which I didn't have, much like the electricity. I didn't have that either, and I didn't have the barriers. So I didn't actually have any of the things in my contract that were requirements for me to tattoo in a safe and sterile manner. It was just a mass confusion for at least the first hour, and then it just kept going.
So the reason why this event caught my eye to begin with was a post on BookTok by this author, Percy J. It was her going down the escalator, her going to the ball that kind of was a fail. If you know anything about events, a party at an event, a ball at an event, a costumey situation at an event is everything. Everyone's looking forward to it. It's usually a rager. And then it was sort of like this post that went viral to showcase that it was kind of a fail. And I had to reach out to Percy J to hear the whole story.
Well, from the beginning, it was completely disorganized. We got a table map a few days before the event, and so that's what we planned on setting up as. But the tables were not up to fire code, so when we got there, everything was completely different. It was just complete chaos. There was no balloon arch, there was no decorations, there was no photo backdrops. There wasn't even a sign. There was nothing to take pictures with, nothing to signify that you were at a book event. nothing.
It was just a lot and too fast. You're dealing with volunteers, authors, vendors. There's just so many parts. And I think that not having a team was a big issue in this situation.
Everything about this community is shaped in so many ways because of these events. So this was a heartbreaking moment to see the event go. Every other event I've ever attended, and I've attended a lot, have been perfect, have been seamless. Sure, things go wrong, it's expected. It's an event of thousands of people. If you've ever hosted a party and something has gone wrong with 50 people, imagine how much stress it is to host an event.
Why is no one ready?
And a lot of times these organizers, because they love it so much, they don't even make a dime. They do it for the community. And I absolutely respect that. It's why we go to events, it's why we feature events. So I have tremendous respect for the event space, tremendous respect for the organizers, and I love the event space. We will forever cover them as long as Love on Demand exists. Leads me to my next conversation with Anna Ives, who hosted one of the first events. She actually created the original Wicked Book Weekend, which was a smallish event, but really an opportunity for her to connect to readers and authors, which was really the whole idea of this whole thing.
I started this because I wanted to meet the authors that I love. I had chatted with so many of them online and become friendly with them, and I decided I'm gonna make it into a whole book signing. It was a weekend thing. All these people that have never met before are gonna group together and room together, and it was one of the best weekends of my life. My events were a little bit different. We had a Friday night activity, we did dueling pianos or a comedy drag show. I was not big on staying at the hotel. I was like, let's go do things and have fun. The Saturday night activity was this whole bus ride, and we had a blast. Everybody's singing. I mean, this is with like my idols, and we're just having an amazing time. We made it a big weekend thing, and I always wanted it to stay that way. It was a weekend for authors to hang out with readers. It's changed a lot now.
When an industry booms like this, and all of a sudden you've gone from several events to hundreds, you're gonna see some misses. It's gonna happen, it's inevitable. It's statistically just the way it's gonna be. So we've seen this with Readers Take Denver, we saw it with Blackheart's book signing, and more recently, Blackheart's book signing, what is the other one?
Once Upon a Con.
That's the perfect name actually for that's gone wrong. So why this matters, I mean, aside from the fact that it caught my attention, loving the event space, is because it is an expensive endeavor for attendees. Not just attendees, authors, vendors, it's an expensive endeavor for everybody involved. There's ticket tiers, you're paying hundreds of dollars for that ticket, you're getting a hotel, even if it's a room block, it's expensive. So obviously if you're gonna spend this money, you want it to be magic. And sometimes it isn't, but most of the time it really is. And sometimes you can sort of make magic out of it, even if it is a miss. I spoke to this other attendee that did attend A Million Lives, and she did make magic out of the moment.
We got there and no one was there, but we were like, we're still early. It's only like hour one. It's gonna be okay. Like, let's just take advantage of it being empty, but it never filled up. Full transparency, as a reader, I wasn't disappointed. We got 4 or 5 hours of uninterrupted book shopping with authors. So for us, it was great. But for the authors, I was like, they're printing and paying for their own books. They're paying for their own merch. They spent money to come here.
I lost nearly $3,000 on this trip.
I am now out about $2,000.
I didn't make table. I have never, in my career as an author, ever failed to make table.
I think we got scammed. Like, I know it doesn't feel like it because we got something out of it. But I'm like, if we were the only person to purchase a book, that does not cover any of their expenses to be at the event. So when you think about it like that, it's like, this was bad.
There's pros and cons to everything. I spoke to author Kitty Berry, who sort of came onto the scene a little later into the space as it was really starting to boom in 2019. Talking to her was an incredible experience. She has such a firm handle on what it means for her as an organizer, as an author, and how to make it right for the attendees and how to be honest with everybody when things do go wrong.
I was naive a little bit to be like, how hard can this be? Well, I'll tell you how hard it can be. Lesson learned. Authors they know how much they're being charged for a table. They know how many authors are on the list, and they just do math. But when you're doing that math, All you're doing is what is coming in. And I would love that to be the end of that math equation. However, there's a lot of hidden costs that I think new hosts don't realize. If you want a room block, the hotels are more than happy to give you however many rooms you want to ask for. And if they're not filled, you as the event have to pay for those rooms. Accepting that you're going to make mistakes and telling people when you do, I feel like that's how these events go wrong. Something happens, they can't admit to the mistake they made. They try to hide a little problem or lie about a little problem, and then the snowfall continues and continues, and then the avalanche comes, and then people are going to be like, oh, I'm done, I'm out.
So after talking to Kitty about how things should go and should be executed at an event, talking to Selena about what actually happened at the event, yikes.
It was sort of towards the end of the first day that people started coming up to the bookstore booth. They're like, yeah, the swag bags were stolen. Grace told us to take some books. I'm like, there's no way the swag bags would be stolen by the convention center. But these attendees, like the freaking 5 there were, I was like, you know what? They deserve to have an incredible time. Absolutely. Take a book. And then during the event too, I found out that she was telling people that I scammed her out of all of the profit. And I was like, oh my God, this could not get any worse.
One of the most important things at an event is that final wrap party. And it's a lot of fun. We cover them, we go to them, we party with them. It's always sort of like the icing on the cake of an event.
A ball at a signing event is like a turkey at a Thanksgiving dinner. You have to have a ball. I was expecting very low effort. I did not expect no effort. I remember just coming down that escalator and seeing it, and I just started laughing. Who looked at this and said, yes, this is acceptable to give people?
I did email Grace a few times. I really wanted to talk to her. I didn't hear back from her, but I did see that she did release this apology video.
Hi everybody. I am wanting to issue a formal apology. I do understand that the ball tonight was not set up to standards. There were a lot of issues with getting set up and it was not set up well. So I want to apologize. If you would like a refund, please contact me and I will issue a refund immediately. Thank you.
Only a handful of people have received those refunds. I personally have not. A lot of people are still waiting just for their table fees to be refunded.
I did not end up actually charging her for any of the books that were taken or any of the profit that I would have made, just because I knew kind of at that point that she did not have money, and I felt like if I had requested all of that, then absolutely nobody would get refunds.
She gave us a deadline of when we would get the refund. That came and went, and then she said she was in the hospital and her information got stolen. I was really just going to use the money to purchase a book from one of the authors anyway, but I have no hopes of getting my money back at all.
It financially affected a lot of people. It absolutely did.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
People incurred anywhere from $200 of a loss to $5,000 because they flew or they shipped thousands of dollars worth of books that they didn't sell and now they have to ship back. People were telling me how much money they lost and it was their first event and now they didn't know if they want to do other ones.
If this was your first go around, you're gonna think that you're the problem. Dozens of people, authors and guests alike, come into this book community expecting fellowship, expecting to grow in their author careers, expecting to make connections, and walk out just completely demoralized, thinking, maybe I'm not cut out for this.
And I've watched some of these events implode on themselves along the way. I think it was just the lack of confidence to probably go and say to people, this didn't pan out the way I thought it was panning out. I hope that it's opening the eyes of the rest of the hosts, you need to be accountable.
I think there's a lot of incredible takeaways that we all got from this event. The exposure, the friendships, the wariness that we now have. We've all grown, and I hate to say it, but I really hope that Grace has grown as well. But I don't think that this one misstep should ruin her entire life. I just have to look at it in a positive way and just hope that all of us, including Grace, I hope that we all get through this, and 5 years from now, it is not a thought in our head.
So even if you have a bad event, try again, try somewhere else. Your people are out there. We're here. We're just a step away from each other.
Go to events. That is my conclusion. Go to every event you can afford to go to. If you can go to an event, please go to an event. Events are where magic happens. Events are where community happens. Come find us at an event. Come talk to us at an event. We love events. Events are, in my opinion, the cornerstone of this community, after the books, of course. But it is what gives you face time with your favorite authors, and face time with other readers, and face time with like-minded individuals. And that is what this is really about. Found family, connecting with people, getting off your screen, getting in front of human beings, building connections, having that baller party. You know how many friends I've made just standing in line, and how many times I've heard that story? A lot. Go to events. Yeah, sometimes they go wrong. And when they do go wrong, maybe instead of like going nuts about it, figure it out a little bit. That's what I wanted to do. There's so many wonderful events that happen. Just looking at one event that went wrong, inevitability, go to events. I love them.